Hey, what's up? Gray sexual bottom bitch here. Welcome to What Are We Reading? I'm Llytic.
Ichi-Tan.
AKA Ichigo Koneko, if you are looking at any of her other online stuff.
Yee.
And we are probably going to finish Ted the Caver tonight.
Yeah, finish that cave.
What about Plumbing the Depths?
Whoop whoop.
Tight virgin passage.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyways.
But, last time shit went kind of fucky. Gross rotting smell, like fierce shit going on. Rock that shouldn't have been able to be moved, and there was a hole under it.
And something started to chase them.
Also screaming noises.
So many screaming noises.
That weren't from Ted. Alright. Yeah. We are on May 19th. It's been 3 weeks since our last visit to the cave. I want to update everyone as to my condition, my plans for the cave, and the events of the past few weeks. I apologize for not returning your phone calls. I have been getting all your messages. I just haven't been felt up to calling back. Stephen Mark, thanks for your words of encouragement on my answering machine. I know you two are sincerely concerned for me. You are awesome friends. Mark, I know you stopped by the house a few times, and I'm sorry I never answered the door. It really helped me just knowing that you dropped by. Sis, I can hear the worry in your voice. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. Just take care of those nieces and nephews of mine.
I figure if I can get this site updated, I can let everyone know at once about how I'm doing. A lot has happened in the last 3 weeks, so I'll do my best to cover everything. I guess I should start where my last entry left off. It took several days to get the last journal entry written down. I was so shook up from the experience that I could do little else but sit around and ponder what had happened. Right now, I'm on a long-term medical leave from work. I tried to go to work several days after the event, but my boss sent me home. I couldn't concentrate, and I looked terrible. I've even been to the doctor, but I couldn't tell him about the experience. So I just told him I was under a lot of stress. He recommended rest and gave me a prescription to help me relax. Good drugs.
Drug.
That is a mood.
I can't do a Homer Simpson impression.
Donut.
I'm still upset that you... Sorry, I just fucking looked at the chat, and so I just see, like, you got the bite that I was going for with Nekobot. I was going for that kind of bite, instead I ended up with some sensual ear shit. This is, like, reminds me of this one D&D comic I saw. Like, alright, I go to punch him in the face. Rolled the nat 1. You gently caress the side of his face. He suddenly blushes. It's like, motherfucker!
And it's just like, him ended up hooking up with the fucking enemy.
Yeah, like with this buff-ass orc dude. Which, nice.
Nice. Yeah. Had biceps for days.
Yes.
Mm.
The only thing that ever weirds me out with shit like that is like the weirdly round pecs that sometimes get drawn on that kind of art.
The male titties?
Yeah, but like when they're like... Because like you have ripped dudes where it's like some firm-ass pecs, and then you have like some people like when they draw them like weirdly rounded, and it's like that doesn't look quite right. But at the same time, most of the time when people do that, they're also going for more of like a weird, like, I guess a fetishized take on the bodybuilder physique, so there's also that. So regardless, the muscles ain't quite right for health.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you finish yours? Yes, drugs.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I thought that, good drugs was you riffing.
No, that was actually.
I thought you were riffing. I just saw that. Oh. Drugs. When we left the cave, I was nearly in a state of shock. I could not think clearly and was having a difficult time trying to understand what had happened. I didn't eat much, nor did I get any sleep. I was glad I had the presence of mind to write down my experiences while it was fresh in my head. As I rewrote what I wrote, I felt like I accurately portrayed what had happened in the cave that day. I wouldn't change anything I wrote. Even though it took 3 days to write it, when I finished writing it in my journal, I felt much better. I guess it was kind of therapeutic. Fortunately, it didn't last. In fact, it was after that things got really bad. Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Something followed him home.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was my cousin, the other cave cryptid.
B and I parted company after the trip, and I didn't see him again until yesterday. I didn't try to reach him, and he didn't try to get a hold of me. Nor did either of us try to contact Joe. B just dropped me off after the trip, and I spent the next several days by myself in my house. I tried to eat but had no appetite. I was restless, but I couldn't find anything to do to take my mind off the experience. That's when I determined that I should write it down. As I mentioned, that helped me think a little clearer. And I seemed to be a little calmer, but it didn't last. I went to work the next day but was sent home. The day after that, I had an overwhelming feeling of anxiety sink into my soul. I was
Mood.
depressed and confused and had no one I wanted to turn to for comfort.
Mood. This is just sounding like me in general.
Right? I was
Depressed
getting
and confused, I think, is just like my general status.
same. Feel like should update that on a few things. Anyways, let's
That's
see.
gonna be added to my Twitter bio, depressed and confused.
So I was
I'm
getting
not
all
adding
kinds.
that to Tinder.
I was
My
getting all
bio.
kinds. Oh,
Sorry. I was gonna say my bio's quirky enough already.
yeah. Twink.
That is a word used there, yes.
I was getting all kinds of phone calls from people, but I just let the answering machine take the calls. I even changed the message on the machine to let everyone know I was all right. I continued in this miserable state, eating and sleeping whenever I could manage, until a week after the trip. Then things started to get strange.
First, I was hearing sounds in the house that had no explanation. Footsteps, shuffling noise, creaking doors. Typical horror movie fare. Fun. Only the sounds were not distinct. It was as though I wasn't sure I heard what I thought I heard. I would be eating or getting out of the shower and stop, thinking I heard something. Mm. Mm. I am relating to this and I don't like it. I see myself in this picture and I don't like it. There's so many times I'm by myself and I just think I hear a noise. I forgot just how many fucking functions NecoBot has, and we were just using it to get coffee. Anyway. Oy. Oy. I couldn't be sure if there were noises in the first place. Either way, I was scared. It was as though I had been caught in a spider web for the last week. Feelings of anxiety, foreboding, tension filled my life. Then came the hallucinations.
Whee!
I need some coffee.
I began seeing things in a manner similar to the sounds I was hearing, just a glimpse of something in the corner of my eye. When I would turn to look, nothing. I had been sleeping with the lights on in my room, but now I kept all the lights in the house on from before dusk to after dawn. When I started to see
Maybe my
things
lights
on
are
a
on.
regular basis, I purchased a gun. Got it from an ad in the paper, so I didn't have to wait for a permit.
Oh no!
I went to the doctor, but didn't mention the details of my life. Told him that I couldn't relax, and I walked out of there with a prescription. Fortunately, my wounds and injuries were pretty much healed by this time. My back still hurt a little, but the prescription took care of that too. When I was on the medication, I felt great. But I didn't want to walk around high the rest of my life. So I'd only take it at the end of a tough day. Unfortunately, the severity of the sightings increased, giving rise to the need for the medication.
So he's medicated, he's hallucinating, and he has a gun.
Sounds like a party.
This can only end well. Flashes in the corner of my eye contact. But then I began to see shapes, shadows. They would be outside my windows, usually at night. I still couldn't make out anything solid, so it was hard to pin down what I was seeing. What was I seeing? What was I seeing? Soon I began to close all of my drapes and blinds so I could remove the possibility of seeing something. Doing so did help in that respect, but my life was still a mess. I see myself in this picture and I don't like it. My daily routine was mechanical and empty. I would lose sleep. I would sleep as long as I could, usually out of exhaustion. Then I would get cleaned up and try to eat something. I lost a lot of weight, so I tried to get as much as possible down me. Then I would exercise a little and nap a lot. I'd only been out of the house a few times in the last 2 weeks. You alright there? Why did you try to direct that at me?
Because I felt you were being triggered by this.
Oh, that's why it's capitalizing the N when I'm doing this, because I'm using my phone.
White man.
That man's fucking face. Why is the skin around his eyes so pale?
Because he's a white man.
The skin around my eyes isn't that pale. It's darker than the rest of me.
Because he's a white man wearing makeup.
And he didn't do eyeshadow?
Nope.
For shame.
Mm-hmm.
For shame.
Such shame.
Let's see. The store, the doctor, the gun purchase. I didn't watch much TV because I couldn't concentrate. I spent a lot of time on the internet, doing research on caves and cave myths. The only story I could find was the caver folklore about the hodag. The hodag was supposedly a creature that roams caves. Oh, so now you do that kind of bite to your other spouse.
To my other spouse.
Okay, I swear I've seen hodag. I've seen that name before. Oh, okay. Oh shit, as an incarnation of the accumulation of abuse the animals had suffered at the hands of their masters? What? In American folklore, the hodag is a fearsome critter. Oh, it's a fearsome critter. Okay, this is lumberjack folklore.
Mm-hmm.
A fearsome critter resembling a large bull-horned carnivore with rows of thick, curved spines down its back. The hodag was said to be born from the ashes of cremated oxen as the incarnation of the accumulation of abuse the animals had suffered at the hands of their masters. Okay. That's interesting.
See, when I looked up... Ooh.
She bites back.
Ooh.
Apparently. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Because I typed in hodag and with cave, and it said American folklore, the hodag is a fearsome creature with let's see. Hold on.
Origin. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find is the cave thing. I'm not finding a cave thing.
Hold on. No, I found it. Here we go. Hoax. Shepard claimed to have captured another hodag in 1896. This one was captured alive. According to Shepard's reports, He and several bear wrestlers placed chloroform on the end of a long pole, which they worked into the cave of the creature where it was overcome.
Oh, okay, so this was part of a hoax thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, this is just what I'm finding on Wikipedia. But it
Yeah, but
looks
that's
like,
listed under hoax. It was when people. It's kind of like when that whole issue with the gorilla suit filled with goat intestines that like a couple people tried to pass off as a dead Bigfoot.
yeah, let's see here.
He displayed this. He displayed this hodag in the first uh, Oneida Oneida
Hey,
County
so
Fair.
I'm looking at it on Hodag and it says popular culture. The first mention, like the first list of it being mentioned, it says the famous creepypasta Ted the Craver mentions the Hodag in passing, and that's the first popular culture
Followed
mention.
immediately by Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah, Scooby Doo, then Fantastic Beasts and Where to
Beast and
Find
Where to
uh,
Find Them.
20.
Lumberjanes. Ooh, 2008. Oh, okay. Okay, Lumberjanes is a magazine. Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that was the name of like a female-led like lumberjack themed band. I don't know where my brain was. I don't know why. No, I know exactly why I want a fucking band led almost entirely by women wearing all flannel.
Yeah, but yes, as the origins of it is that in 1893, newspapers reported the discovery of a hodag in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. It, quote,
Yeah,
had the head of a frog, grinning face of a giant elephant, thick short legs set off by huge claws, the back of a dinosaur, and a long tail with spears at the end. The reports were incited by well-known Wisconsin land surveyor, timber cruiser, and prankster Eugene Shepard, who rounded up a
yeah.
group of local people to capture the animal.
It became
And
extinct after its main source of food, all-white bulldogs, became scarce in the...
yeah, and here's even a picture of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
but yeah. Oh, that's tiny. But yeah, because that was one of the whole thing I'm working on, like, I was like, okay, lumberjack folklore is technically a kind of mythology, so we're going to include that stuff in there too. Because this is stuff that also includes, like, bulk-tailed panthers, cactus cats, hide-behinds, Dungan hoovers,
Yeah, but everything I see of the
dingbats.
hodag just ties to the guy who did the hoax of
Well,
it.
no, these hoaxes were, these two different things were 3 years apart. Uh, wait, is it the same person? Eugene Shepard, okay.
Yeah, like I
Well,
said,
at the
it's
same time, like, like the Loch Ness monster was literally created by like two people doing a fake photo shoot.
yeah, so
And the whole thing of Sasquatch
it
tying
looks
back to
like
like Native American folklore is mostly all lies too.
yeah, it looks like they took the lumberjack folklore about it being a creature of the oxes that they'd killed that couldn't serve anymore, and
Yeah,
he just
ran with it.
made a yeah, ran with it.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. I'm gonna have to remember that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was but yeah, it was like some of that stuff's really interesting. Like stuff like the dingbat is literally like the origin of the word dingbat because it's like a bird-like creature that was stated to eat bullets and drink gasoline. And so, like, if you were hunting and you missed what should have been an easy shot, you'd say, like, you'd basically just be like, "Ah, dingbat ate the bullet,"
Kinky.
or like, "Oh no, I filled up the truck. It's just a dingbat drank the gas." And so it was something that you would use to like, just like you'd blame simple mistakes on it, and then it kind of like changed into you made the simple mistake. You're the dingbat. Like that's kind of how it became like the insult or whatever. At least from what I can tell. Yeah. But yeah, lumberjack folklore, like the fearsome critters thing, is fascinating to me because that and like gremlins are like the most recent, like, I guess for lack of a better term, mythologies. Anyway,
Um,
Hodag was supposedly a creature that roams caves. There we go.
Let's see here. 2 weeks after we went in the cave, and a week after I began hearing things, I began to have nightmares. Extremely lucid nightmares. No specific theme or recurring events. Just plain terrifying.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was in my house and someone was trying to get me, only I couldn't run because I had no legs. Other times I was in a vat and someone was pouring syrup like liquid onto me, filling the vat, and I would wake up in a panic. I would stay awake until exhaustion forced me to enter dreamland once again. A brutal
Like
routine.
all those people that drowned in that molasses tidal wave.
Oof, yes. It continued for several days until it reached a climax on the 6th day, yesterday. My dreams seemed to be so real I had a hard time telling if I was awake or not. I was beat, really drained of energy and spirit. I was going from the living room to my bedroom in the early evening when I looked down the hall and saw a dark figure toward the end. I thought it was a thief and began to back up slowly. It didn't move. As I was backing up, the lights flickered off and on. Every muscle was tense. I stopped to stare at the figure. Just then the phone rang. It startled me so bad that I stumbled over a chair. When I got up and wheeled around to look down the hall, nothing was there. I grabbed my keys and left the house. I felt compelled to get in the car and drive. My pulse pounded in my temples and I got in and started the car. I wanted to drive to Overlook Point to see the city lights. I didn't know why I needed to go there, but I knew I had to go. The closer I got, the more urgent the feeling. When I arrived at the point, I saw something that at first startled me, but then caused me to be more relaxed than I had been in a long time. Joe was there. He was out of his car, standing looking at the lights. We looked at each other. I could see from the tired look on his face he had been going through the same miserable trial that I had been experiencing. He could tell from the look on my face that we had shared the same terrible experience. Our conversation was unbelievably brief. "You been back?" he began, even though he knew the answer. "Yes. We need to return." "Tomorrow good?" I asked. "Yeah. Noon." He got in his car, and I got into mine. I hadn't even wanted to talk to him about his experience. Obviously, he didn't want to know mine. I drove over to B's house.
Oy, that's fun. When he answered the door, I thought that B actually looked like he was doing fine. Somewhat happy. One look at me and his disposition changed. Our conversation was also succinct. I ran into Joe, going back in tomorrow at noon. B looked dead serious, nodded his head. I asked him if I could spend the night at his house. He eagerly let me in. Didn't notice until later, but every light in the house was turned on. He led me to his spare room. "Help yourself. Thanks." I washed up in the bathroom, took some medication, and got the first decent sleep in a long time. I woke up early this morning and came home to get ready for the trip. I thought I would send out this update so no one will wonder what's going on with me. I suspect by the time most of you read this, I will be back home and will have a great story to tell. I promise that if you haven't heard from me by now, you will very shortly. 10 a.m. On Sunday the 19th. We will be Saturday, not Sunday. Holy shit. We will be leaving for the cave in 2 hours. Preparing for this trip will be like no other trip I've been on. For the first time in my life, I will carry a gun into the cave. We'll also carry a knife, an extensive first aid kit, plenty of food and water, and a camera. I will take several sources of light, and a pad of paper and a pen. I will... Wait, shit, I started reading yours. Whoops. Hello?
Oh, 1 second.
You okay?
1 second.
Okay.
I needed to sneeze, and so I was trying to mute myself before I just fucking, whooshed into the mic. Okay, sorry. What were you saying?
I realized I was reading your line.
Oh.
Starts with preparing.
Yep. Preparing for this trip will be like no other trip I've been on. For the first time in my life, I will carry a gun into a cave. I will also carry a knife an extensive first aid kit, plenty of food and water, and a camera. I will take several sources of light, a pad of paper and pencil. I will take all of my climbing rope, since B lost his in the cave. I'll carry a good length of rope with me on the other side of Floyd's tomb. This is the first time in 3 weeks that I've heard any reference to Floyd's tomb. It sent shivers up my spine just typing it. Ooh.
Not those kinds of shivers.
Ooh.
Not kinky shivers.
Woo.
Anyway. There's so many things I hope to accomplish this day. So many answers I hope to find in a tiny passage hidden from view. Reflecting on the...
Tiny passage hidden from view.
Anal.
Ooh.
I mean, if we're talking about the tiny passage.
Yeah.
Very least tighter.
You know, technically a raccoon
Anyway.
could fit in a human's asshole.
Yes, I know that. Because raccoons are actually kind of small under all that fluff. Unless they're really fat.
They can squeeze themselves into passages as small as 4 inches, and
Yep.
a human asshole can stretch up to 4 inches.
Yeah, it's that they can fit into a passage up to 3.5, like up to, of 3.5 inches. Because it's, raccoons can fit, let's see, the human rectum can stretch up to 9 inches without tearing. A raccoon can fit into, a raccoon can fit into holes up to 4. So you can almost fit 2 whole raccoons up your ass.
Ooh.
Yeah, almost.
I know how I'm torturing my next victim. I mean, what?
Do not punish animals. The animal does not deserve this. The raccoon did nothing to. Do not hurt the trash pandas.
I would never hurt a trash panda. I would just hurt a trash human.
With a trash panda. The trash panda cannot consent to this.
No. You see, what I will do.
What are you gonna do? Put something shiny up the person's asshole?
No, I was gonna say I was just gonna find one that was already dead, but.
Oh. I suddenly had flashbacks to where the red fern grows, in which they were talking about like how to trap raccoons and shit like that. Have you read that book?
Yes.
Yeah, the whole thing of like that small hole that has like the bars put in it, and then something shiny in it. The raccoon goes to grab it, but like doing that, it creates a fist, so it can't pull its hand back through, and it's too stubborn to let go.
Yep.
So it ends up just trapped with its hand in a hole.
Yeah.
Putting something shiny in the person's asshole so that the raccoon goes after it.
It's really cute. It stinks.
You gonna be okay?
Is that a mental image? Oh, somebody dressed like a raccoon fisting somebody else.
Well.
Because they wanted shiny, so they grabbed it and they're.
I have successfully broke Ichi-Tan.
It's not that hard. I haven't slept in like a week. Ooh.
Anyway, since we were talking about tiny passages hidden from view, let's get back to that. Reflecting on the events leading up to today leaves me feeling dizzy. Was this all a bad dream? Unfortunately, I am wide awake, mood, and still in a few short hours I might face my nightmare. The thought of having another person with me in the passage does nothing to alleviate the fear I feel. So double penetration isn't making you less nervous?
No.
I'm not apologizing. I almost chuckle as I ponder a childish notion of what will have to consider. Who will enter the tomb first? Who will lead the way into the dark unknown? Who will decide when to turn back? Foremost among the questions in my mind is, what about the video camera that I left behind? Is it supposed to be able to record in complete darkness? I left the thing running, so what might we find on the tape? Darker questions follow. Camera is gone. What if it's destroyed?
Mm. Give me a second.
Stop thinking about raccoons fisting people?
No. One of my friends just DM'd me on Facebook a really raunchy meme, and it caught me off guard. Ooh, okay.
You've just been hit by innuendo after innuendo.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, did you finish your line?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Although it is difficult to put exact name on my motivation, I think closure, close that type passage, fits quite nicely.
Oh my god.
Gotta plug it up. I need to find out a few
With a
things
raccoon?
about this cave. The main thing, believe it or not, is to find the end of the cave. With all the bizarre things that I've witnessed these past few weeks, it would seem a bit trite to want as a primary goal to get to the end. But that's what I want, to be sure. I will be seeking other bits of knowledge along the way. If, however, I find the end to the main passage and end to the passage hidden by the rock, I will be content to never return to the passage or the cave again. Never.
It would seem to me that crawling headfirst into through a tight passage into the darkness is an unnatural thing to do. I believe there's an entire fetish community online for that. Just like crawling up the side of a cliff for recreation, or jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, floating to the ground. We do these things to satisfy our hunger for adventure, and this subconscious desire to conquest our own little Everest. As B is fond of saying, caving is the last opportunity for exploration for the person with modest means. True, just a short drive from just about anywhere in the country is a cave waiting to be explored. Even a cave well known among the general public can be approached by someone for the first time as an adventure, something new. As an adventure, something new, something to overcome, because it's there.
Because it's there. Many of you don't agree with my decision to pursue this cave. I know this from the messages I received. I'm afraid I don't have a choice. If I'm ever to experience restful slumber, I must return. If I'm ever to walk the halls of my own home in peace, I must return. If I am ever to exit the overworld and enter the subterranean world of a cave, I must now return. I no longer feel that I have a choice. I must return.
For my family and friends who are reading this, I say, be at peace. I will conquer this cave. I will return and update this website immediately. I will include any photos we take of the cave today. And if you stop by the house, I will show you the video I will have. I expect to be home later tonight, tomorrow at the least.
See all of you soon, with a lot of answers. Love, Ted.
So he's dead. Yeah, if you go to the official site, if you go to the original site, which probably should be what I have linked instead of the Creepypasta link, like the Creepypasta fandom link, it says last updated May 19th, 2001. He's dead. Ted, Joe, B, they're all dead. Oh no. I know I'm laughing, but it's only because I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. I think that did like a good job of setting out what it was trying to do.
Let's see here. I found something that says that was updated November 21st of 2015. It says, so a lot of people wonder what happened to Ted. Turns out he's fine. He is a real caver that started a blog for friends to keep them informed of his adventure, but decided to embellish the story a bit for fun.
Well, yeah, I meant the character of Ted, not the author. I'm not. That's what I.
But yeah, no, that character's probably dead.
Yeah, the character of Ted, B, and Joe, they're dead. Like, with the way that is, they died.
They died.
Like, they died or they went insane. They never left the cave, is the point. Yeah, I liked it. Solid story.
Gosh.
Like, a few grammatical issues, but I feel like those were kind of left in intentionally. Because it is supposed to be like someone's journal. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening. Special thank you, of course, to Andre D, Summer Moon Soldier, and Destiny Baird for supporting us on Patreon. If you like what we do and would like to support us in any way, then consider going down to that link in the description and pledging any amount of money you want. Every little bit helps. If you don't or cannot help us that way, if you don't want to or cannot help us that way, no real shame in that. There's always just the usual YouTube bullshit. You know the rigmarole. Yeah. I'm Llytic.
I'm Ichi-Tan.
And hopefully you will hear our lovely voices next time.
Or we just